Hi, welcome to Plaid Craft TV. I'm Cathy Filian.
And I'm Steve Piacenza.
And today we're excited to have the fabulously talented Cathy Callahan joining us.
You might know her from her blog, Cathy of California.
Or from her vintage-inspired crafts like the ones you can find in her upcoming book, Vintage Craft Workshop.
And we're going to have fun today making some vintage-inspired canisters. Well, Cathy, I'm really excited to get to do a craft project with you.
Me too.
Especially using Mod Podge.
Oh yeah.
Now, Cathy has a book called Vintage Craft, and she uses a lot of Mod Podge in a lot of her projects. And tell me how you got inspired with the Mod Podge, because there's a great story here.
Well, I collect vintage craft books from the 60s and 70s, and I picked up some of these, and I found out about this woman, Jan Whetstone,
Right.
who was an interior designer, and she invented Mod Podge.
And she invented it in the 60s.
Exactly, in her garage.
Yeah.
The technique of decoupage involves a lot of layers of varnish and sanding and drying,
Right.
and she didn't have time, so she invented this.
Yeah. It's actually, decoupage is actually a very old process.
Dates from the 18th century.
Very difficult, very kind of smelly, a lot of dry time.
Exactly.
She speeded up the process completely and actually invented it in her garage.
Exactly. So
cool.
she invented it for her own projects for her clients. People started coming in her shop and said, I want to buy it. She made kits. A department store placed a huge order. The
Right.
rest is history.
Fantastic. Now there's one other great story that I want to share is she got into using fabrics with Mod Podge. And what did she do?
Well, traditionally decoupage was done with paper and just, decorating, objects around the house. So Jan wanted to take it a step further and started experimenting with fabric on all sorts of different surfaces.
Right.
A neighbor had a Volkswagen Bug. She covered it with bed sheets.
Now that's a great Mod Podge moment. Okay, so what we're going to do today is we're going to be making some vintage inspired canisters. Now here's one that we picked up. Now this is just a plain kind of canister, kind of boring, and we're going to be using Mod Podge and fabric to turn it into this.
So cute.
Very cool, and I love this fabric.
Uh-huh.
So why don't we start, and why don't you take over, Kath?
So for this, we're going to use the Mod Podge fabric. So what you're going to do, you're going to measure your canister, the height of it, and all the way around, and cut a piece of fabric to size. You're going to do it a little bit shorter because we're going to add the ribbon detail later. So you get that all cut. It's good to use a rotary cutter, get a real clean edge, and then take a sponge brush, and you just start coating the surface.
Simple as that, like any other project, just load it up with Mod Podge. And basically a nice thin layer works best for this with the fabrics.
And just go all the way to the edge. So you go all the way around.
Now I like this project because we are using fabric with it. It was first designed for paper to paper,
Right.
Or paper on any type of surface. And of course, Mod Podge has evolved into many, many different formulas. And we are using the fabric Mod Podge today, which is great. And we are using Alexander Henry fabric, which is beautiful.
And then you take your fabric and you kind of get it on there as even as you can. See how easy it goes on?
Beautiful, and no ripples or wrinkles with the fabric. It's really great.
And if you do, just go like that and it's gone.
Very nice.
You go all the way around.
Okay.
You can just add a little more on.
And as you're moving the fabric, you can add your Mod Podge onto the canister and just keep working all the way around the canister. Again, a nice thin layer works perfectly. Now, how long have you been working with Mod Podge, Cathy?
As long as I can remember.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, it's like the best craft supply, and what I love about it, it's the same packaging they did in the 60s.
It's the same. Well, that's what makes it so cool.
Haven't changed the logo.
Or the formula.
Exactly. So there'll be a little overlap at the end. And I just do a little bit on here. And then that seals it. And Steve's going to finish it off.
With the seam here, the way to cover that up is with a piece of ribbon. So we're going to put a piece of ribbon down the seam and all the way around the top and the bottom just to finish it off and give it a nice clean edge. Let me put my hot glue gun helper finger cap on so I don't burn myself. And my piece of ribbon here. And I'm going to go right down the seam, like so. lay down my ribbon and just press.
That's really handy so you don't burn yourself.
It's super handy. I don't feel a thing. And now you put your fingers in hot glue.
Cool.
And not worry about it. And then I'm just gonna snip that off. Just like so. And there we have it. We covered our seam with the ribbon. And of course you wanna do it all the way around the top and all the way around the bottom to give it a nice finished look, just like this one here. Cathy, thank you so much for coming.
Oh, you're welcome.
I love your book. I love your vintage style. I love that you use Mod Podge. And I hope we get to work together again sometime.
I can't wait.
And don't forget, for all these projects, please go to plaidonline.com.
Where you will also find a bonus project of a coordinating knife block.
That's right. Thanks for coming. Bye, guys.